Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we're going to cover the Neptune style of 2000 style beats. So let's hop straight into FL Studio. No time to waste. You guys will get all the project files for free. Just go to BusyWorksBeats.com/FL Studio. Shout out to Av McCree for helping me find a lot of these sounds in his video. If I remember, I'll link it below. But he has a great video about which sounds the Neptunes use from the Triton. So it was a great starting point, and then I went through the sounds to figure out which sounds I like the best. So the plugin you want is called the Korg Triton. This used to be a keyboard. Korg is, in my opinion, the best sound company. They just have the best sounds, period, in my opinion. Okay, so we're going to go to where it says Browse, and you guys want to look for some of these. So I have these saved. You guys could just screenshot this and look for all these presets. Okay, so first we're going to start with some kind of chord. So let's go with the E-piano here. And you could just type in EP to pull up sounds from their E-pianos. Okay, so it's a way you also play. I've noticed that the Neptunes, it's not just like playing a chord. They tend to perform the chord. So like instead of just playing like this, they'll do it this way. You know, there's different ways to play a chord. Just adding that R&B glissando up top. Okay, so let's go back to the browser, and I'm going to just start with my favorite sounds that I've marked. So let's start with those for the chords. I'm probably going to switch out the EP. Okay, we need a big sound there. Now the drums that are going to inspire this track is called the Big Trouble Kit. I really like this sound. All right, so what you need to do is go to the arpeggio, go to pattern, and clear the pattern. Okay, so let's just start with that drum pattern. Let's tap out the tempo. So doom, cha-doom, da-doom, ch. Doom, 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 somewhere around 97. I've noticed the Neptunes are very high BPM as far as like hip hop. They're very high in the 90s. So let's lay this. It's a velocity sensitive. Let me restart. Okay, so you got to play it with a little swing, which means you got to play the notes a little early sometimes. Now we're in a different video. I'll show you guys how to quantize using MPC quantization. We're going to hit Alt Q. We're going to go to this folder, and you guys need to find where you have stored your, basically you have to go online to look for the MPC quantization presets. All right, so you guys can find these online. Just search up MPC 60 Quantize FL Studio scores, okay? And you guys can find these values here. Let's do the MPC 50% Quantize. So now it won't like make it super stiff. It will give it that swing from the MPC. So it keeps our timing, but it just adds a little bit more bounce. Okay, so we want that natural velocity because that's what creates that dynamic in the actual audio take. So now we have our drums. Let's start mapping out what we actually have. We have the rhythm section here. Let's pull this down. We have the contrast layer. This is going to be our bass line. We have the harmony section, which is our chords. We have the top line. So the top line can be seen as the vocal, but it can also be seen as part of the chords depending on how you play it. Nextly, let's go into the chords. So far, so easy. You guys just got to get the, the MPC quantize presets. Now let's figure out what key we want to be in for these chords. Also, I'm going to turn this stuff down. It's a little loud here. Let's go to our mixer, hit Control L, send stuff to the mixer. Let's just turn this down for now. And then we'll do a beat mix. Let me just do this now. Again, you guys get the project files for free. You don't have to do all this. Just go to BusyWorksBeats.com/FL Studio. Let's highlight all these tracks here. Right click and route to this track only, and then just turn these channels down. And then what we could do to compensate for the volume is add a parametric EQ2 and just boost it. My favorite number is 9 dB. It just allows for the most dynamic, in my opinion. And pull this down. So now when we're arranging, we could start leveling as we go. Okay, let's add some chords. So we're going to take a lot of the chord ideas from our Isaiah Falls video, so you guys should watch that. It's one of our recent R&B videos. Let's record this in. Playing D flat minor 9. And then B major. So we're going to do a dominant chord at the end. So we're just switching it up just a little bit at the end. Now in our normal song, the drums will be louder, but I'm trying not to clip this track. Let's add another Triton here. Now we're going to go for some kind of moving element, like a string part or some kind of lead sound. Okay, so I'm going to go to my favorites folder. Let's use maybe Arco strings, which is the typical one, or we could do... Thought I saved some leads in here. So now I'm going to record this lead, just the moving element of the beat. Let's go back and let's just practice. That one I'm going to fix. Let me just redo it because it's just easier to redo than fix individual notes. So that last little note is going out of key on purpose. We got to watch the velocity too, though, because if we go too high velocity, it changes the sound. Let me change the Okay, so far we have a laid back type of sound, and we can at this point start creating what's called the contrast layer. The contrast layer can be the bass line. It could also be a counter melody. So let's just find sounds that stick out. It's going to turn the drums down because we're going to handle them with soft clipper. It's hard to hear the bass. So now I'm just going to play the bass as if it's like a lead. Just have to figure out that starting point. So I'm gonna change some of those notes. So notice like each element in the song is moving the song forward. The bass line's moving the song forward as well as that slower lead. So these are contrasts because one is playing faster than the other. The bass is playing faster than that higher pitch lead. I'm gonna change some notes, maybe the timing of the note value. Now here I might want to add a pitch bend. Let's see if we can record that in. Let's go back. I didn't do it hard enough, so let's Control Z that thing. And let me see here if I can show you guys the channel pitch values that I'm adding. Okay, so I went down and then up to A, so it just sounds, it lands in the right note value. A lot of glissando notes here, where you slur the notes into each other. Now here, it wasn't the greatest transition, but we're gonna leave it. Okay, let's see what happens if we pull this down an octave. It might be too low. We'll see. All right, so we're just gonna level this bass. Because the kick is so low, just adding another low element's not really gonna contrast that kick and snare. It's just gonna clash. So kind of like the bass up. We can technically call it a contrast layer, in this case a counter melody. And let's call this thing here the top line. So now we're organizing the functions of this track. So we have everything we need. Now this is about the expression layers here. Let's add some more. And then I'll turn the drums back up to get the levels right. Let's add some ear candy here. See what other sounds we have. So one thing I loved about the Neptunes is that they can guide you through the music without anything sounding clashing. Messed up there, so it's critical though that we make sure we have the right notes here because we have so few notes. This is supposed to be okay, so C sharp. Alright, so now let's start adding these expression layers, which are just duplicates of the same underlying layers here, but they just do more movements. I think we need more rhythmic expression. Let's see if we can find like an arpeggio or something. Let's open up another Triton here. So this is the Triton Extreme. I don't know if it comes with more sounds or what. purpose of a sound that we're about to add, not just which sound. It's why are we adding a new sound? So let's see if we can add an harmony expression layer where we go over the chords but just add a higher octave, or we just play them in a different styling. But also too, I'm listening for a rhythmic expression layer that we can add. I might add this guitar. So I like this guitar, it sounds cool. So I'm just playing the arpeggio of the chords. All right, so that's what I'm doing there. Let me mute my mic, we have landscapers here. At the very end we played a different chord, so there's a lot of everything's trying to be loud right now. My voice, the beat, everything's trying to be loud. So let's start leveling. I want these drums to hit harder, but they probably have a lot of transient information. Let's see if we could just add a soft clipper temporarily here. Chop off those peaks. It also feels a little more compressed. Let's see if any quantize adds to this track here. Let me see too. We need to change the ending here, so let's. We might be able to get away with this. It sounds good even though we're playing two chords over each other. Let's try to quantize these notes just to see what it sounds like. Because I want the rhythms to lock in. See how the MPC has a different swing on it? Before we add that quantize, let's make this unique so that it's a brand new pattern. We could always reference the original. And I hit the wrong key there. Whoops. Alt Q. Use that MPC setting. Start turning stuff up and down. Okay, so this is what the expression layers are for. The top line is usually the most important. Okay, I was making sure that was top line sound there. Let's add a couple effects to that top line. Now, it sounds really good, but let's see if we can go to our effects chain here. Some of the effects in Korg are very, very good. I'm actually surprised they had these in the Korg Triton. Let me see here. Let's go to the Easy tab so we can see the chain. So we do have chorus on it. Okay. Let's add maybe a little delay. They have so many delays. That's crazy. Let's just try different effects. Also, let's see if we can restrict the voicing here to one voice. Not sure where that would even be, so. I don't know where mono mode would be or the voicing. It's probably just right here. Oh, here we go. There we go. Now it's monophonic, so it won't overlap notes. So we need the strings and the pads to be a little louder. Now we can use these other layers like the harmony expression layer, which we basically did with the rhythm. This is a harmony expression. And then we can also add a contrast layer expression, but let's use those puzzle pieces over time. Let's see if we can crank the drums. I feel like they just clip too easy. See what happens for the drums if we take off some of the reverb. So now we get less mud. And here's going to be our like verse. So now to arrange this, let's start with our chords on our drum. Bring back the top line. And then we could bring in a supportive element like those strings. And here's where we can add more stuff. And we got rid of that contrast layer, which we could feel that bass being gone. Bass is out of key. So in this song, the kick is the bass, and the bass is more of a top part of the bass than it is like an actual moving your car type of bass. Let's see what else we can find. So I'm just going through sounds to see which sounds I could add over top. We could enforce the bass with some expression layers here. Let's go for like a high-pitched harmony expression layer. Let's see if I can find some kind of bell. I don't think I saved any bells in here, but that's what I'm looking for. this chord, I'm playing the bottom two notes of the minor ninth chords, major and minor ninth chord. So I'm playing the bottom two notes and then playing the rest of the chord. This may or may not match, but I'm pretty sure we can get this to fit in. So this will be another rhythmic harmony expression layer. So because these notes are so short, it sounds a little quirky on this one. I think if we pull back the duration, maybe it'll sound better. So I'm quantizing so that all the groove can match, but we're quantizing to 50% values of a swing. So this is how we keep the song moving forward. So this chorus guitar sounds way better. We might do a chord change somewhere in here. All right, so now what we're gonna do to kind of keep the ear engaged is change the chords out. So here, let's start. We made it unique, so it's a new thing. And then we're going to trick the ear on this last chord. Let's see what we can add. Now, the chord goes from B major to a minor sixth chord. So it goes from here to here, but let's see what we can think of. Let me see, what can we do that's a half step? Okay, so I'm gonna do something that still has that top note the same, so the ear is like expecting the other voicing. And then we're gonna move into a C chord. So this is a C suspended chord. All right, so basically the ear is tricked because it's the same top note. It's hard to tell if this is, what is that? Okay, so that should be there. So now I just need to revoice to match the notes that I played here, and then C sharp. Not sure what this B would be, but let's see, because wait. Missing a note, we have C sharp, G. Okay. Somewhere I'm missing a note. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got to figure out where this B would go. All right, so it sounds dope. What we could do to emphasize that is take out the drum. also we want that guitar to match. So let's see if we could. Actually just sounds dope as is. I feel like I like the kick, but it's a little too dark. Like it's hard to hear. So I might swap out the drum, but if I swap out the drum, the whole energy will change. Let's just see where we are right now. All right, so I figured out why the drum sounded so deep is because they boosted like the bass like 1000 dB at 80 hertz. So now it's a little bit thinner, but now we can shape the tone as opposed to it being too aggressive. That's why I was eating up so much headroom. So now we can push the drums a lot harder. Now the drums are a little more leveled. Clap could be a little quieter though. I don't know how to like individually target the clap. But I like the kick way better now. It was just too boomy before. Now let's get this track feeling wide. So I want that compressor to react to that clap and treat it almost like we're sidechaining. I don't even know what note this would even be in here. I'm trying to get that clap toned down just a little bit. I'm trying to target the actual clap, but I don't know if this is C sharp. Oh, it's a D sharp. That's why. Okay, that explains it. Never mind. I just answered my own question. So this needs to be D sharp. I'm not sure which octave that is, so I'm just guessing here. Okay, so we found the clap. Now we can turn the clap down. It's just too loud. There we go. All right, so mixing is not the easiest thing. You gotta like know how to menu dive here. Just needed that clap to be turned way down. Let's see if we can find that kick, reshape it a little bit. So that is D sharp 3. It's the sample on the right. I don't know if they had two samples or what. All right, so it's the sample on the right. Okay, they have a cutoff on the kick. Let's take that off. Actually, never mind. Pull that back. So now we're reshaping the kick. Without knowing how to menu dive, it'd be very hard to do this part. Now I feel like the drums are not screamingly loud. Now it's just a matter of leveling everything. issue I'm having here is I want the bass to play longer notes so that the song feels more filled out. But the problem is that kick is really clashing with this bass, and I don't know how to segment the kick from the group channel because it's multiple sounds in one. I'm trying to think, how can we do this? I think it's in Pro MB. This is so niche of a problem here, but we need to go to Pro MB, set the sidechain. Let's use our kick. Right click sidechain to this track. We're gonna go to Pro MB and put it on expert mode. We're gonna need an external input here. Go to the settings to turn on the external input. Right click, select your kick in this case. And we want to turn down the lower frequencies as the kick plays. So I'm going all the way up to 200 Hertz, and let's compress. We want a fast attack, fastest release, and we want some look ahead time. Now there's a button. Okay, if you go to free mode, this is gonna listen to a certain frequency from the kick. So we could segment it so it only listens to the low end and not the clap area. So this is what I was looking for here. So take it off band mode and look for free mode. So now this, in theory, the kick should turn down the bass every time it hits, which it does. So now the kick and the bass can both exist without us sacrificing one for the other. Now it's not the same sound though. So let's see how much we could take out without it clashing. Or take out before it clashes, I mean. So it only needs like 3 dB to not clip. I feel like the drums need a little more weight. I feel like the middle is missing in this track. Let's go back. Let's also automate that sidechain so it doesn't just sidechain the entire track. We only need it during a certain area. I feel like it's just too much clashing going on. It's like, yeah, it technically works, but it's just too much clashing. It's taken away from the whole point. So worth the try, but for this mix, the octave is just the wrong octave for the bass. So the reason this lead goes out of key at a certain point is because of this pitch channel. So we need to make sure it reads. I might just print this to audio to prevent that. Again, you guys get the project files at busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. So don't worry about like memorizing these little things. Basically, I'm just printing it so that we don't have any pitch change. I'm pushing the compressor just a little bit harder. Let's do one last thing here. This is more experimentative. We're going to combine all of our, let me save this as a new experiment just so I know for sure. Don't want to mess you guys' download up. So let's save this as a different version here. Let's go back, boom. All right, I saved it as a new version just so it didn't mess up anything for you guys. So we're going to combine all of the MIDI that's musical. We're going to combine all of it. Let's hit Control G. So we already have the contrast layer. Let me double check to make sure I didn't. Instead of doing this, here's what I'll do. Because let's just do this. We're going to add the contrast layer in here. And let me make sure. Gold clip sometimes just, you have to mute it and unmute it. So everything's kind of, okay, so we have all the layers. All right, so let's go back. Take all these MIDI, hit Control Shift to highlight multiple, hit Control G to group it all into one. So now all the music is in one channel. We can right click here and transpose this. And we could do it from the MIDI so it's easier. Let's just do -3. I usually go in increments of 3 semitones at a time. -3 plus 3. So here's -3. And now we can hear our song in a different key. Definitely a different vibe. Okay, let's do it again, but this time let's do +6. So now we're going to be +3 semitones from where we started. So it doesn't give the same vibe. I kind of like the original way better. So let's go -3 and then we're back to the original. This matches the kick better. So again, something to just kind of wrestle with in this mix is that kick. It's just like clipping half the time. Let's play this track one more time. Now, if you guys wanted that like final touch sound, you could add those Arco strings. I don't think we need it right now because we have so many sounds. But that would be the final like sound you guys could try to add in here. Let's see if it works. It may not work for this track because it's already full. Where's our strings? Let's see if it can fill in this gap. Let me turn off these plugins here so we can play in real time. So again, this may or may not fit. All right, so it definitely fits. So this is what I would do as a final contrast expression layer and harmony as well. Could have been played a little bit more in time. right, there it is, guys. You guys will get these project files for free. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. Thank you guys for watching. It's a game from busyworksbeats.com. Peace out, guys.